Thanks to the supporters of channel member Rocket Dog 91. Well, it's not quite going to plan. We've got an injury crisis. We've got players off at the Asian Cup and the African Nations Cup. We've managed to sell some of the players we've been trying to get rid of for a long time, but players we already had wanted new contracts, so that money kind of went away. And believe it or not, when we're about 10 players short of where we were in the last episode as a result of all that, we've started losing some matches as well. Great. Hello and welcome to Club 2, Part 10 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you in the Championship. We're at home against Ipswich and away against Cardiff. Since you were last with me, as you can see, we have started losing some football matches. Sheffield United and QPR, it's fine to have lost those games because they're the two teams we're competing with to try and get promoted to the Premier League. That makes sense. Losing against Bristol City, less fine because they're all the way down here. And we've also been knocked out of the FA Cup by Leeds, who we've lost to twice. I mean, it is a very good Leeds side. In my defence, they've got the likes of Hudson, Gonto, Tyler Adams, all kind of knocking around. Paco Alcácer is there. This is a team too good for this league that inexplicably isn't even in the top six. And we keep losing to them. That's not the only reason we've started losing, though. Transfer-wise, we are finally starting to get rid of some of these players we've been trying to get rid of for a little while. So Brad Potts has been sold to Rotherham for £500,000. We've also managed to get Aidan Steele out on loan to Coventry until the end of the season. Mikey O'Neill, who had been rotating in as our backup striker, decided he wanted to leave on loan for first-team football, so he's gone to Rotherham on loan to join up with Brad Potts again. And also some of our young players have gone out on loan as well. But I tell you what, we've got some very good young players with some very high potential. Jamie Hislop is out on loan at Accrington. He joined us from Liverpool back in the summer, and he's not the only one. Dev Centre, what have you got for me? Nicky Bennett, who joined us. No, he came from our youth system. Our youth system is very good. There's a young Scottish player that I'm trying to find, and I can't remember his name. This guy, Rodrigue Toucam, the most Scottish name you could have ever have heard of. Central midfielder, potentially up to £6 million for value, 5-star potential. He's out on loan at Eastleigh at the moment. So we have got some good players coming for our youth system, but several of them are out on loan. And then add on to that the fact that we've got two players off at international tournaments. Suwanrat, who miraculously became Thai last episode, is now off at the Asian Cup. It was much easier when he was English. And our backup keeper, Nguisa, is off at the African Nations Cup. And we have an injury crisis. Adam Eder is just recovered from injury. He's one of several who are just back from injury. There's flu in the camp and lots of injuries. As you can see, I said in the last episode I didn't want to have to play Deshaun Bernard at right back anymore. Well, I've sold Brad Potts. Darlington and Fredericks are both injured. I don't have much choice. He's the only player with a right foot who knows how to tackle. So, yeah. It's not ideal, but we're going to win some football matches. We're going to put all that behind us today. Even with all that going on, it's still a very strong team. This is the level of squad that we've managed to assemble. Oh, by the way, the reason we're not spending, there's still not really anything to spend. We could maybe bring in one player if we can find a bargain. We haven't found the bargain yet. That's why we haven't brought anybody in. But we've got Nichols in goal, a back four of Schaefer, Pascozzi, Story and Bernard out of position at right back. Love that. Whiteman at the base of the midfield with Villagra and Chong ahead of him. Hudson on the left, Buonanotte on the right, and Adam Eder up front. Remember how I mentioned this transfer window as Operation Keep Adam Eder? Well, he is still wanted by Forest. We've had no offers for him yet, though. Danny Hudson generating much more interest. Everton have put in some offers. We've actually had to promise Danny Hudson that we're going to get promoted this season or he's going to want to leave. We're taking that asking price off. He does have a £15 million release clause to clubs in a higher division. I'd quite like to keep Danny Hudson, although to be fair, he has only, for a player who's just turned 19, who's supposedly an attacker and has only ever scored 3 goals for us, if we get anywhere near 15 million for him, we'll cash in on the potential now just to reinvest in the squad. But he is a player I'd like to keep around long term and develop within this football club. If possible, you can see he's picking up the performances this season, just the 8 starts, but 5 goal contributions, 2 man of the matches. He is starting to look like the player we thought we'd brought in roughly this time last year. And with the injury crisis, he's got to start because we don't really have any other options to play out there at the moment. So he's going to get out there, get game time, and hopefully put in some more good performances. I don't expect Adam Eder to make it all the way through this match. He is only just recovered from an injury. Sunjic and Hudson have both had to play matches up front. And within 3 minutes of the match, we have given away a penalty. It doesn't rain, it pours, boys and girls. Once form starts to turn against you, goodness me, does it turn against you? But Nichols makes the save, but the follow-up does end up in the back of the net. I mean, Nichols has done everything he can there to try and keep that out, but unfortunately, the deflection from the save, he's not able to push it around the post. He's kind of just pushed it straight up in the air. I mean, it's lovely. Saving a penalty is obviously always good, but you'd want to coach him to push that round the post or push it out towards the sides. Just pushing it straight up in the air. It's just, I mean, you're asking for that to happen. It's not ideal, but you can't criticize him too much when he actually did save the initial penalty, even though he didn't give himself much chance to save the follow-up. Story then, trying to build out at the back, finds Villagra, who plays it across to Pascozzi, and now Whiteman, and the big ball forward from Nichols, looking for Adam Eder, can't find him, and we could do with grabbing a goal here, or at least doing something to suggest that we're not going to slump into a really horrible run of form, which is the danger. If we lose again today, then we might actually finally start falling down the league, which has been something I've been worried about for the last couple of episodes, and it hasn't really looked like happening. I'd kind of convinced myself we were getting promoted, and now we're starting to struggle, although Deshaun Bernard showing us all he was a right back all along. Maybe he's a central midfielder with play like that. I mean, he's brought that ball down brilliantly. Lovely first touch and a lovely finish. Perhaps this man has got a future as a box-to-box midfielder. Lovely cross from Hudson. That is fantastic from Bernard, though. That first touch just takes it away from the defender, opens up the space for the shot, and he just drills it across the goalkeeper into the back of the net. It's wonderful technique. And it's 1-1, and it's another goal contribution for Danny Hudson as well, who continues to increase his value and increase the danger of a Premier League club coming in and paying the £15 million release clause that he's got, which, I mean, it would be a good 12-month return. Remember, we signed Danny Hudson on a free transfer last January. If we do get any kind of 8-figure fee for him, that's possibly some of the greatest business any football club has ever done from a financial point of view, but does show the huge potential that he's got and why we'd very much like to keep him around and fulfill that potential here, if at all possible. It does kind of rely on us getting into the Premier League. I think if we're in the Championship again next season with that kind of asset, I don't think you can keep him tied down to the club. It's a similar situation with Darlington, who was attracting interest from similar clubs, Everton, Forest, and that kind of level of Premier League club. They were looking at our good young players, and I think with both of them, the only hope of keeping them and starting to build the team around them long term is to be in the Premier League next season, which is adding a little bit of extra pressure on. Right, we don't have a striker on the bench, but Adam Eder was never going to be able to play 90 minutes. So I think what we're going to have to do here is, I mean, this is desperate stuff. Right, Hudson is going to go up front. Chong can go onto the left wing and Roach can come on in central midfield. That's not disastrous. I don't think there's much more we can do substitution-wise right now because we are so low on players. Harvey White can come on for Villagra and we'll actually... No, we won't swap these two around. We'll keep them like that, actually. And we'll continue to hope there is a goal in us somewhere. Hudson, not the most prolific of goal scorers. Bernard has now picked up a knock, so he's going to have to come off as well. He is the only man left at the football club who can play right back. Simon Darlington is still not really ready to... We don't really want to risk him and bring him back in. So I think what we do, in a throwback to last season, Silko Thomas thought his days of having to come on at fullback were behind him. They're not. He's going to come on. In fact, no, he's not. Oh, see, I could put Pascozzi there, but he's shattered as well. And probably for the best that he also comes off. So we'll do that as our final double change. Poor old Silko Thomas having to play right back again. And it's Hudson with the corner. Can we grab an 8th goal? We can. It's Jake O'Brien. An 8th goal of the season for him shows just what a threat he is proving to be from these set pieces this season. The man who nearly derailed everything for us last season, has become such a key part of the team. We've actually given him another new contract to get his minimum release clause out of the way because we don't want to worry about losing him. He is our best defender. We build that back four around him. And now we've picked up yet another injury. And we don't have any substitutions left. This is becoming ridiculous at this point. Well, I guess we'll just go to like a diamond chunk and slot in there. Yes, I know. I've still got... Are you going to let me take him off? Hang on. Oh, because of Darlington, I thought we'd already made our final substitution. We hadn't. There you go. Alejandro can come on. Problem solved. We're not down to 10 men. Ha, ha, ha. Well, who's a silly goose then? Not me. I'm a clever boy. Can we have the final whistle now, please? It's going to be Whiteman who's going to try and hit this from edge. He's scored a couple of these so far this season. Can he grab himself another one? Ben Whiteman, it's quite far out. I think it'll be very impressive if he scores from this. And he doesn't. It goes over. And hopefully one of the last kicks of the game. Well, there's another 3 minutes to play here, but we are continuing to attack. I don't mind if we're going to continue to attack. I thought we'd scored again from another set piece there, but it's gone behind for a goal kick. I just lost the flight of the ball in the match engine there. But a 2-1 win over Ipswich. I mean, we didn't look particularly impressive, but a win is a win. We've been in poor form. That gets us back into some kind of shape and back to the top of the championship. So I guess we can't really complain too much, can we? Keep that up, do it again against Cardiff, hopefully with some of our players returning to the team. Although that's a 2-week injury for Buonanotte now. And there's not really, there's not going to be anyone back for the Cardiff game. Darlington at a push might be back. Beck has got 8 more days out with flu, apparently. He must be a very poorly boy. Let's just hope no one else goes down with flu before the Cardiff game. I guess we could try and sign some players, but doesn't seem like the right... I don't want to panic buy just for a current injury crisis. We need Thailand to get knocked out of the Asian Cup. That would help. Well, this isn't ideal. I'd been hoping we'd get nearer to the 15 million release clause. Danny Hudson, £8.75 million offer from Everton. We've also got... In fact, no, that's not what he's got in his current contract. Do we have to pay a sell on to whoever we signed him from? No, I don't think. So I think we would keep the full 8 million. I just think he's too good to let go for that kind of price. His current value is 11.5 million. Why are we selling him at a discount when he could be an absolute superstar for us? Yeah, it's nice to get him back on loan until the end of the season. But it does feel like we should be keeping him. It's not like we're desperate for the money anymore. We've got £10 million in the bank and we're heading for we're top of the championship. If we were mid-table, it would be different. But give me until the end of the season. If we get promoted, why on earth would we not want to take Danny Hudson with us? I'm going to protest the transfer and see what the board have got to say. I think the board should reconsider selling that. He's got lots of off the club. I feel he'll be weakened. Really good prospect. Be positive. Right, let's just try either of these. The board appreciates your comments and the feedback. However, after discussing it, we unfortunately have decided this offer's too good to be refused. It's just not. I feel I always put the best into the club. I ask the board reconsider their position. Let's try disagreeing. I feel the board's position on this is non-negotiable. Feel free to spend any remaining funds on new players to replace Danny Hudson. That concludes the meeting. Let us know if there's anything else you need. Fantastic. Well, that always used to work, but he's a bit cheesy. You can do, those of you who are looking for a Football Manager tutorial right now, you can just click that and it will cancel the deal. However, I'm going to try and do it the correct way, the realistic way, because that wouldn't work in real life if the board are insistent on selling. So what I need to do is try and offer him a new contract, which he doesn't want. So Danny Hudson's gone. Well, yeah, of course we'll loan him back. We need him. That is a real shame. We found a gem. I mean, it's still great business. We brought him on a free transfer. He scored 3 goals in a year and we've sold him for 9 million. So it's great business. Does feel a little bit small time from the board though. Got some spensies now, though, I suppose. Well, he hasn't gone yet, but my theory is we probably wouldn't start in these circumstances. So we'll move Hudson down onto the bench. Chong's going to be on the left. Alejandro on the right. Roach, not fully fit, but he can start in central midfield alongside Villagra, with White in behind them. Let's just go beat Cardiff, I guess. I am sad. I'm a little bit sad that one of the best finds we've had in this year's non-league to legend could go down as the best find. It depends how well Darlington turns out. And I guess the one advantage of letting Hudson go is that we're surely not then going to do the same thing with Darlington, because we'll have £20 million in the bank then. We really won't need the money. But it is sad when you bring in a really good young player like that you want to build a team around, and they just get whipped out from under you in illogical circumstances. Like I say, if we were mid-table in the Championship, it would make sense. But we're on the verge of the Premier League. We're top, or we were top going into this game. There's a real chance we could be a Premier League team next year, and then we just won't need to sell. We'll be looking at spending £8 or £9 million on rotation players. Never mind players with huge potential like Danny Hudson. It's so silly. And this is a conversation we would be able to have with the board, and the game doesn't let you. Hudson, not Hudson. Hudson's not on the pitch. Bernard, once again, showing that I was wrong to rule him out as a right back. He might be the flying right back we've needed all along. He's a goal scoring right back, that's for sure. Gets forward on the overlap, just whacks it, puts us 1-0 up. What a lovely thing. We are back to the top of the Championship. Long may it continue, boys and girls. My plan now, assuming Hudson is gone, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's gone. Obviously, before tomorrow's episode, we'll play through the rest of this transfer window, get to deadline day, spend as much of the money as we feel we need to spend, and show you what we've bought the other side of it. I'm wary of bringing in too many players, because obviously we are top of the Championship. We don't want to bring in players who are going to upset that. It might even be more logical to look to try and bring in some of the loans permanently, especially with Hudson going to be in as another loan as well. There is a limit on the amount of loan players we can have in the first team squad. So maybe if we could bring one of these loanees in on a permanent deal, that would be a more sensible way to reinvest that money. Someone like Schaefer or Villagra, you know, one of these who would be a big difference maker to be a permanent player in the team. And the other thing, of course, we're going to need is competition and backup for Adam Eder up front. He's struggling for fitness because he's having to play every game. He's now starting to struggle for form. Hudson is going to come on. Hudson has never been the answer as a centre forward. We persisted with him there for a little while, but it's only been since we've moved him out onto that wing that he's started to look any good, which is what's led to the Everton interest. So we really do need another player in the Adam Eder mould, which, I mean, we've looked at Micah Beerith. He's struggling a little bit at Stoke. I wonder if we could go and revisit that and maybe still bring Micah Beerith in. That could be the silver lining to Hudson leaving. Right, we're going to put Silko Thomas on at right back again. Oh, he loves it. And Owen Beck can come on at left back to try and freshen things up a little bit. We just need to try and hold on here. 1-0 up. We're not playing brilliantly. This isn't the same all-conquering Preston side we had earlier in the season, but if we've now developed a habit of grinding out results, that's got to be a good thing. Danny Hudson, a £9 million. Should we just start laughing at him? Everton have just spent £9 million on that guy to play up front for them. Oh dear. Right. Down to 10 men. Not ideal. Can we please hold up? This is why we should always hold a substitute back. And I've been trying to do that all season long. Today I haven't. It might end up costing us. Although Cardiff haven't had a shot on target yet. It's the 95th minute. They're about to have their first and only shot on target of the match, aren't they? And they're going to do a football goal with it. It's back with Nichols. Nichols to Silko Thomas, playing out of position. Gives it to Suwanrat, who is back from the Asian Cup, by the way. You may have noticed by the fact he's been on the pitch for 20 minutes. Villagra, that's a poor pass to White. And this is going to be... No, it's not. Cardiff cannot do football, apparently. This is a good thing. This might be our saving grace today. It's Nichols with the goal kick. There's just over 30 seconds left in this match. Can we please hold on? I love this time wasting from Nichols. Lovely old pro. And then lumps it forward, looking for Hudson. He's not really the man to aim an aerial ball at. And once again, showing that he would never have been the answer as our centre forward. There is the ball over the top to Hudson. Now, this is where you would expect him to be any good, but he wasn't. So, you know what? The more I see him floundering up there, playing up front, the less upset I am about him leaving. He was never any good anyway. Forget those 2 assists he got in the last game. They don't even count. And we have held on and made it back-to-back victories at a very important stage of the season. We're not going to be sad about losing Danny Hudson. We're going to be excited and happy about what we can go and spend that money on. There's a week of this transfer window left, and I'm going to have like £6 million to spend. Going to go and have some fun now. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.